Welcome to the GCN Tech Show.
This week we're talking tools, crowdfunding projects, the ultimate winter bike,
plus your upgrades and the bike vault.
With no further ado, let's do it.
Ooh.
Now, a really clever tool that's just come out is from Clever Standard, and well, it's an expanding Allen key. So what does that mean? Well, it means that if you were to round off a bolt, say for instance on your cleats, where you've forgotten to use some grease, and when you've come to undo them, all the salt has started to corrode them, which is quite a common problem for people out there. The actual Allen key, despite it being a 5mm, for instance, it does in fact expand or widen up to say 5.5 or 6mm, so that when it comes to about to slip and round off the bolt, instead it grips it and you can further undo it. I think that's a really good idea.
Yeah, I do as well, especially being one of those people that is guilty of not greasing their cleat bolts.
Just do it. A little bit of advice for everybody out there. Every 3 months or every 4 months, something like that, just remove one bolt at a time, put some grease on it, refit it, and do it with each and every one of those.
Is that why you never answer your phone on the weekend?
Yeah, too busy doing that. On your shoes.
Well, John, if that was a clever idea, this is a stomping great idea. I had a look around Indiegogo last week, and I came across this Dutch company called Step Twin from Nieuwegein. Well, they haven't reinvented the wheel, they've just reinvented how we pedal.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah.
That's a nice looking bike, isn't it?
Featuring dual bionic independent drive technology.
Sounds impressive.
Well, it's a mouthful.
Yeah.
With benefits including what they say eliminates the dead spot. Although when I look at it, it kind of looks like 50% of the pedal stroke is now the dead spot.
Now, it's also a folding bike, isn't it, as well?
It is.
So it's ideal for, well, a commute, or a commute that involves also using public transport, so a train or a bus. And, well, it's a multi-size format frame, and it's also made of titanium. I'm a big fan of titanium bikes.
Yeah, but they look pretty cool, but not when they're painted, John.
No, although it's a bit of a trick, isn't it? Someone comes along and they think that's going to be heavy, this steel bike, and they pick it up. Well, that's light, that's titanium. Yeah. And with just a couple of weeks left to go, you can even save up to 47% of the retail price. So if a stepper bike is your thing, well, go ahead.
Should we get one each? We could do like a new race series, couldn't we?
That'd be good, wouldn't it? Yeah. You could.
Car park race series.
Why not? Now, in the Northern Hemisphere right now, we're in the depths of winter, and well, it's miserable, isn't it?
It is a bit, yeah.
And it's got me thinking about some of the bike rides and some of the bikes too that I owned, specifically for riding during the winter, because, well, winter bikes were a real thing, weren't they? You never used your summer bike because you'd get, well, laughed at if you used that in the winter. You used to have mudguards, carbon bikes, they weren't seen. No. And those bikes, they were heavy, weren't they?
They were, they weighed a ton, and they had one sole purpose. They were a workhorse that could survive pretty much unmaintained for an entire winter season.
Yeah, it's quite surprising actually, the number of old riding friends of mine who they would just get back from a ride, give it a quick spray down with a well-known lubricating fluid, and they would just put it back in the shed and, well, see it again the following weekend.
Yeah, and it would never rust because air never actually got to any of the bare metal, did it? Because they were so layered in dirt and grime and all the rest of it.
Now, I've got a question for you then. Did you ever, when you were pro, ever use winter bikes specifically or not?
So I tried to avoid them. Obviously, you don't pay for your own bike, which makes a big difference. So then you don't really have to incur the cost of repairing it or maintaining it, unless you happen to be miles away from like the team and you can't get the bits. So I preferred to ride the proper bike, the bike as it was, without the mudguards, without all the extra accessories, because I wanted to feel fast when I was training.
Yeah.
And I didn't mind that much getting wet and dirty. But this winter is the least I've ridden outside since the early 2000s, so a good 18 years possibly.
Blimey.
And actually now, I prefer having mudguards.
Yeah.
Even though they rattle a bit, they're a bit heavier, the bike feels slower, I want the comfort now. I'm not all about going fast.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because, people, they sometimes look at you and they think, well, why on earth is he riding this for? Like my winter bike, you've seen it outside, it's heavy, isn't it? Old aluminium bike, it's got mudguards on, all right, it's got Durace group set on it, but it's a really old one. But the way I look at it is that bike is keeping me dry when I'm riding along. And I was just like you, like in the winter, sometimes I would think about it, actually, I'll just go out and ride the race bike today, it'll be absolutely fine, just because you like the way it feels, because it's much faster, it always feels, psychologically.
Yeah, and then you train a little bit harder because you feel good about what you're doing.
Yeah.
But then also it has like the whole, you have to spend a lot of time maintaining it then as well.
Yeah, you're right there.
Which is a bit of a pain. So if I was to redo the last few years, then maybe I would invest in some proper mudguards and maybe actually a proper winter bike.
Yeah, it's interesting as well that now quite a lot of pros are actually putting mudguards on, whereas before they wouldn't. They would use summer tyres all year round.
Yeah.
And I don't know how, because there's nothing worse, is there? Puncturing in the winter. Now, all right then, my ultimate winter bike.
Yeah.
I'm going to run you through it. So it's not going to be a carbon. Actually, it would be a carbon frame with mudguard mounts.
Yeah, for this one, money is no object.
Yeah. In fact, Brad Wiggins, he had Terry Dolan build him a carbon frame with mudguard mounts and everything like that. Yeah. So it was race geometry, but you could just about fit a pair of mudguards on them. Whereas nowadays, it's hard to fit mudguards on a lot of race bikes because the clearance is so tight.
Yeah, true. Especially aero bikes.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But I suppose if it's really aero, the frame could act as a mudguard almost.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. So no, I'd have a carbon frame with mudguard mounts. I reckon I'd have dynamo hubs as well.
Yeah?
Yeah, because they're cracking, aren't they? You don't have to worry about batteries.
No, it's genius.
Yeah. I would have electronic shifting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny that, because you always think to yourself, I've never had a mistimed shift or a poorly shift.
No, that's a good point.
Done with a mechanical, with electronic group set, but with mechanical you do. And in winter is when your bike gets covered in all the gunk, and that's when the cables can ultimately get...
You know what I used to do is run full length external cables and then zip tie them to the frame. And that keeps
well.
Yeah, but it works, doesn't it?
I did that on a race bike one year. I had a terrible back brake. Oh, I remember just ran it and just zip tied it around. Everyone was like laughing at me.
Yeah, but it worked.
Yeah, it worked perfectly.
Yeah.
So obviously I'll have mud guards.
Disc brakes?
Carbon frame. Disc brakes, 100%.
Yeah.
100%, yeah. I would also replace all the grease on the bearings with marine grease, something like that, so it just lasts longer. But there's not a lot, really.
Would you go for the same standard race geometry?
Yeah, I think I would do, yeah. Because I figure I don't like the change. It takes me a long time to get used to a bike.
Yeah, do you remember getting off the winter bike years ago and you get onto your new bike and it felt all twitchy, or your race bike, and you'd be a little bit confused for the first few rides.
You want it really to, basically I want exactly the same bike, but I want mudguards on it and disc brakes. In the summer I quite like to have rim brakes still.
Right, okay, yeah. Well,
whereas we're different on that, aren't we? You love...
I would go discs all year round,
yeah.
So the point of this story is, we want to know, what is your ideal winter bike? Is it the same as what John and I would use? Because I think we've kind of agreed there, haven't we? Which is quite nice.
First. Or are you someone who all year round you use your race bike, you don't care about the premature drivetrain wear and using really lightweight tyres that are puncturing at all opportunities, basically, where the opportunity arises. But yeah, let us know your ultimate winter bike. Or are you like the people I met down in Australia who laughed at me when I merely mentioned the fact that I had a winter bike? They couldn't believe that. They said I must be ever so rich. But I said, no, I just don't like getting wet. I just don't want to get wet, basically. So yeah, let us know your ultimate winter setup. Or do you only have one bike? If so, what do you do different in the winter? Look forward to this one. Now, Ceramic Speed, famous of course for ceramic bearings on bikes, have just launched a new oversized pulley wheel system. This one designed specifically for cyclocross bikes, the Ceramic Speed X.
Yep, only available for SRAM clutched rear mechs, so the Rival and the Force ones. Yeah,
and well, the actual pulley wheel sizes are 14 teeth for the upper and 18 teeth for the lower, which is slightly different from the road-going version, which is 13 for the upper and 19 for the lower.
Yeah, still quoting reductions of around 30 to 40% on the resistance, so that's quite a lot actually.
Yeah, and apparently Tom Pidcock, former world junior cyclocross champion and I think World Cup leader at the moment when we recorded this, well, he's actually been spotted using that too.
Yeah, so look out for these on a rear mech near you, well, at some point.
Yeah, soon.
John, we have a public service announcement from Specialized.
Oh, go on.
Yep, and it's regarding their Future Shock headset.
Oh yeah, the suspension system.
Yeah, pretty funky. But the 2017, 18 and 19 model years have been affected on the following models: the Roubaix, the Diverge, the Cirrus and the Ruby.
Ooh, okay, so apparently there is some chance of stress corrosion of the steerer tube, so just keep an eye out. So maybe take your bike down to a local dealer if you do have one, or alternatively check on the Specialized website exactly what you can do. Interesting, isn't it? That bike or that headset system is what Peter Sagan used last year to win Roubaix. So there we are. Did hear a cheeky little rumour actually whilst I was down under.
We love a rumour.
They reckon there's going to be a new Specialized Roubaix launch this year.
Ooh.
So I'm excited to see that.
And you can guarantee it'll have an amazing colour scheme because new Specialized always do.
Yeah, especially if your name's Peter Sagan.
Well, yeah.
It's now time for Screw Riding Upgrades by Upgrades. Part of the show where, well, you submit pictures of your upgrades using the uploader tool down below for your chance to win the Capron, as Oliver Bridgewood calls it. Yeah. Basically, it's a workshop apron. I can't find it, so there's a good chance that Ollie's, well, doing something with his grubby little hands instead, wearing it. But anyway, if you've got an upgrade, make sure you submit it down there in the comments. Well, you'll find the uploader tool down there below in the description.
Yeah, anyway, last week we had Andrew and his Cannondale, who was up against Jonathan and his bamboo bike. And it was a cracking bike.
Oh.
And if you saw the video, you'd know why.
Pandas love them. Right.
Turns out, if you put them next to radiators, the top tubes crack.
Oh, right, okay.
If you ever buy a bamboo bike, John. Anyway, it was incredibly close.
Yeah.
And the results were 49 to 50%. And with 50...
Hang on, there's 1% missing. But I suppose...
It's just the way I do maths.
Probably 50 and a half, 49 and a half. I don't know.
Jonathan's bamboo bike.
Wow, well, congratulations, Jonathan. Get in touch with us on Facebook to arrange the delivery of your apron. And, well, send us a picture of you, I don't know, fixing up your bamboo bike or something like that. Right, anyway, this week then, let's move on to the contenders. First up is Unai from Valencia in Spain. Place I know very well. Used to live just down the road from there.
Nice.
Now, Unai, they always wanted to ride an authentic Orbea Euskaltel road bike. So in the summer of 2017, they started looking for the perfect second-hand machine to fulfill their dreams. For only €240, a suitable aluminium frame was found, fitted with an old Shimano 105 group set, a cheap saddle, stock wheels, and, well, an ugly stem. Unai did not like any of these, but the Starship frame looked promising. I did like those Starship frames.
Yeah, they were nice.
Bit by bit, the Orange Beauty was upgraded, first replacing the stem with a long, pro-looking 130mm ITM Superlight model. Yeah, that is 130. Along with an ITM 44cm bars, pretty wide, and a full Campagnolo Veloce 10-speed group set. Then the wheels came. A brand new set of Mavic Axiom Elite fitted with Vittoria Rubino Pro tyres. The change was huge in performance, apparently. And last but not least, well, they decided to carry out the GCN 1x drivetrain hack. Obviously, you've been watching my video. And, well, they got rid of the front derailleur. Now the bike looks absolutely fabulous. The perfect orange machine beneath the orange trees. That looks good, doesn't it?
I'm going to stop you right there, John. Look at the drop of those bars.
Yeah, that's perfect.
I mean, that's bars used to be.
That's a big drop, nearly touching the tyre. Well, the same height as the tyres, aren't they, down there on the drops?
I like that. Anyway, Unai is up against Antonio from Portugal. A friend of his called Nuno asked him to restore his childhood bike, a 1996 Vitus frame made from Columbus Chromo.
Oh, nice. That must have been one of the last Vitus bikes, I reckon, before its reincarnation.
You know, it was a year before I took up cycling, so I don't know that much about it.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. Originally had Campag record from the same year, but the only remaining bits were the bottom bracket, the brake calipers, and the front derailleur. You know, I'm not surprised about the bottom bracket.
Yeah, bomb-proof.
Yeah, they were incredible.
Yeah.
The fork is a carbon look, the stem and handlebar are from the same era. The saddle is a Selle Italia SLR, and the objective was to keep the steel, but to make a current replica of the mythical bike with the Portuguese Joaquim Agostinho, who won on Alpe d'Huez with the Flandria team.
Whoa, blimey.
Nice.
So I like what he's done with that.
Yeah, he's sanded it right down, he's blasted it, repainted it, treated it all. That is stunning.
Yeah, got rid of the bosses on the top tube as well, actually, for the...
It's popped a couple underneath, if you like.
Yeah, exactly. They've now put bottle cage mounts, I think, because it looked like one of them was rounded off. It looks like a little zip tie holding on the bottle cage there, on the Elite QC cage. I used to love those cages. I
love that colouring. In fact, there's still a team in Flanders that races in those colours now.
Well, Ridley, a couple of years ago, they made a bike for Lotto Soudal.
Yeah, they did,
yeah. I think it looks classic, that.
But it's not up to us, John.
No. You know what to do. Vote up there. Who's it going to be? That classic-looking Orbea that brings back some great memories.
Yeah.
Or, well...
Iban Maye.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Oh, get me all teary-eyed now. Or is it going to be that Flandria recreation, not recreation? God, left my memory down in Australia. Right, vote up there. Who's it going to be? Next week, we will have two more battling it out, and, well, we will announce the winner of the apron. Bike of the week time, and well, last week it was a big battle because it was between the Specialised Alley Sprint of Peter Sagan and the Cannondale System 6 of Team EF Education First, who this year have shortened the team name quite considerably.
That's a good job too.
A lot easier for us. And well, the winner...
It was, unsurprisingly, I think, although it was very close, the Specialised Alley Sprint of Peter Sagan.
Yeah, it was a nice looking bike there. I have to say, I saw it in the mechanics tent early in the morning, about 7:30, walked in, and I looked over and I thought, there's a different bike over there. It was certainly a different paintwork, and the paintwork was what really stood out because the green was way more metallic than on a carbon bike. And as I got closer and closer, and I was like obsessing over it as I do, all of a sudden there was like paparazzi going wild, and well, yeah, those pictures.
Did they get any pictures of the bike though, or just you?
Yeah, no, sadly, just the bike, none of me. Well, there might have been some of the back of my head, but
best angle.
Yeah. Right, this week it's the battle between the bike of Caleb Ewan.
Yep, the Lotto Showdown Ridley Noah.
Oh yeah, nice looking bike that. I did get a close look at that bike. Yeah. He did some customised bits on it actually.
Really?
Customised shifting. Yeah, you'll have to watch the video of the Pro bike coming out soon. And who's he up against?
He's going up against Patrick Bevan's CCC Giant TCR.
Oh, new team, and he had a good tour down under as well, didn't he?
Well, he did for a while.
Yeah, he
crash.
lost it on the last day, didn't he?
Yeah.
Sadly. But yeah, you know what to do. Vote up there. Who's it going to be? Caleb Ewan's Ridley or Paddy Bevan and that Giant TCR? Right, now time for the bike vault, which is, well, we always say it's our favourite part of the show, but, well, to be honest, every part is our favourite part of the show, but we've got a little soft spot for it, let's face it.
We get to be really aggressive with the bell.
Yeah, in fact, well, I've not been here for a couple of weeks, and I have noticed your bell ringing technique is, well, excellent. Right, okay. So how do you get him to ring that bell more or less? Well, basically, you have to submit a picture of your bike to us using the uploader tool found there in the description below and include bits of information about you, your bike, where you come from, and, well, a detailed description of it, because we always like to nerd out on those details.
Yeah.
And we rate it nice or super nice.
Yeah, and there are no losers here.
No, and a super nice gets a ring of the bell. So, with no further ado, let's crack on with the first bike this week. What have we got?
I've chosen a few that I hope you like, John.
Well, it has to be a majority vote. We can't have one nice, one super nice, and you get a bell ring. It has to be, two super nices for the bell to ring. Right, crack on.
Len, independent fabrication tie crown jewel. Oh, look, a painted tie frame.
Yeah, there we are.
Taipei, Taiwan. Just finished his new build with custom geometry, handmade frame set from the States. It's my first titanium bike, but also his third road bike. The riding quality is so good. I love it so much, and it's easy to see why. You got these Campac Bora wheels.
Oh, beautiful wheels.
Campac group set. It's stunning. I like that.
Victoria tyres. Oh, it's a nice looking bike, that isn't it?
It's a lovely
Quite
looking bike,
power meter. Yeah, I mean, the backdrop, to be fair, is not the most adventurous or anything like that. The walls could do with repointing, and also the tiles a bit mucky, but...
To be honest, John, I hadn't even seen the wall of the tiles.
Yeah, it's the first thing
I was looking at the bike.
First thing I look at. Right, but in seriousness, beautiful bike, ring the bell.
That's how it happens these days, John.
Right, okay. Right, super nice. Okay, next up is Antonis, and this is a BMC Team Machine SLR02. Now, Antonis is in Greece. It's been upgraded. It's got Ultegra on it, dual race, and also some Campagnolo wheels. It's winter training on the new bike, so that looks like it's a winter bike.
Nice winter bike.
Yeah, nice.
Where are your mudguards?
Cheeky. Look at that. That river looks rough behind, doesn't it?
That's
the Alphios River in Pyrgos in Greece, for those of you who are interested. Not been there myself. That's a nice winter ride, isn't it?
Well, judging by the water, it looks like a scary place to have stood to take a picture.
Whitewater rafting is more suitable there, isn't it? The orange bottle doesn't do it for me, personally.
Saddlebag, John? On a bike with no mudguards? I think it's nice.
Yeah, it's a nice bike, Antonis. Right, who's up next?
Next up is Peter, with a recycled frame as well, in Montreal,
Keep
Canada.
your hand off that bell. You're going too close to it. Right.
Chris King headset, Thompson seat post, Paul components.
Oh, God, you don't see those very often.
No, you don't. Very rare. That's incredible, actually. Yeah. Velocity rims, Schwalbe tyres, Brooks saddle and bar tape, Jaguar steel braided cables, Campac Veloce, 3T bars, generic stem, Velo orange mudguards, Randonneau racks, frame and fork chromed to a high gloss finish. My Saturday night special. If you
ideal for Mr. Travolta.
I was going to ignore that bit. Yeah. If you knock that up on a Saturday night, I'm well impressed.
Yeah, you got some serious chroming skills there, Peter, in Montreal. I don't know what to think of it, to be honest, but
it's the most monochrome colour I've ever seen on a bike. It's phenomenal.
Centre stand as well.
Yes.
I mean, there's a few faux pas here, let's face it. I mean, the chain is not in the correct gearing, the valves are not lined up, nor are the tyre logos and all that. But to be honest, it's just a chrome beauty, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it deserves.
Chrome bottle. Yeah, go on, give it a ring.
Come on.
Honestly, Sometimes I wonder. Right, next up is Sean from Richmond, near the Vancouver International Airport. Out for a rare dry winter ride in Vancouver. It's a 2018 Factor 1 with Dura Ace 9170 and black ink wheels. It's called black ink, that's part of Factor, isn't it?
It is.
So it's got black ink bars and stem and also seat post there. That's one of the only bikes really with the external steerer tube, isn't it?
Yeah.
That and the
New
BMC.
Sabella, isn't it?
Yes, sorry, New Sabella, yeah.
So there's a few now.
Yeah.
You know what? It's mega stiff front end on those bikes. I've raced them for a whole year.
Yeah, it is nice looking, isn't it?
I love a silver kind of chromy paint finish on a bike.
Yeah, you don't see many of them, do you?
Don't.
It's hard to see. I mean, I think that there's been a little bit of Photoshop trickery from Sean, but yeah, I think it looks great. You know, the saddlebag's pretty minimalistic. One bottle cage. It looks like those bottle cages are pretty fancy too.
One top tip for Sean.
Go on.
Don't ride that bike in the wet because your bottle will get filthy.
It's got the split tube, hasn't it? Of course, yeah.
When I raced on them, I put a crud catcher on the down tube to keep my bottle clean.
Did you?
It's a little bit of a hack and it looked awful, but it meant that I wasn't getting ill.
Yeah,
anyway,
true, yeah.
Super nice?
Yeah, go on, give it. Right.
Sorry, John.
Go on, who's up next then?
Right, next up, Daniel riding a Canyon Aeroad CF SLX in Singapore.
Yeah, we've got a lot of viewers in Singapore.
Yeah.
We've got a hell of a lot of viewers
I'm
in Singapore.
surprised how big the cycling community is there, actually.
Massive, absolutely massive. In fact, I know a guy called Daniel from Singapore.
Ask
Well,
your friend
he
Daniel.
didn't have a Canyon last time I rode with him, I don't think. No, he had a Pinarello. But anyway, I'll have to ask him. Right.
Custom painted Canyon. What he's done basically is invert the paint job on the left-hand side of the bike. So,
nice.
depending on where you look, it's a different bike on each side.
It's hard to see, isn't it, with that,
well,
you know, moving the head around a lot. But what's he got? He's got Ultegra, is that? Ultegra, Reynolds wheels, gold chain by the looks of things. Can't see because all the blood's rushing to the wrong side of my head when I'm doing that. But, do you know,
I think it's a really cool idea.
Yeah, it's a cool idea, but it'd be better done if the picture was different. Personally, I think it's a nice bike.
I think it's a really nice bike.
But there's a lot of red and black bikes out there, isn't there?
There are a lot of red. It's one of the best colour schemes, though, John.
Yeah, there's a lot of red and black bikes, and there's also a lot of black and red bikes.
Yes, well, there's two in this picture.
Yeah.
Or is there one? I can't work it out.
I don't know.
Should we go with the nice? Because of the confusion?
Yeah, Daniel, nice bike, but you've left us confused and, well, with our heads on the side. Ooh. Heads will roll. Final one then. Michael, Vancouver, Washington, USA. Of course, there's loads of Vancouvers all over the world, isn't there? This is Michael's Co-Motion Camino Ultegra Di2 disc brakes. Apparently, it's the commuter bike intended for year-round transportation. It's custom built, hand-built in Eugene, Oregon, using Reynolds 853 tubing.
Nice.
I remember when that
silky
first
smooth.
came out.
Yeah.
Oh, people were getting so excited about that. Rolf Prima Allen wheels. Don't see Rolf wheels much anymore.
You don't.
Was it US Postal who used to use them once?
Yeah, the
upon a
Vector
time?
Pros.
Yeah,
the gold rims.
My dad's got a pair of those. They're so light, actually. Silker frame pump painted to match. Sometimes people go a little bit overboard, but I think that looks all right.
Yeah, it fits in. It's subtle.
Yeah, Chris King headset. And well, I think that's... Look at the size of that front mudguard.
Yeah, I was going to say the world's longest front mudguard. To the point that I think, John, that it might even be a rear mudguard mounted on the front of the bike. I'm not certain.
Don't know what Michael has done, but Michael is not going to be getting wet feet.
No, I like it. It's genius. And it fits in really well with our talking point of the week, which was just how good a proper winter bike is.
Yeah. Now, personally, I think that would be the ultimate winter bike. You know,
yeah, I think it
quite possibly. I mean, I did say I want carbon, but I would want electronic group set. But do you know what? That's a good-looking bike.
Yeah, I love
custom as well.
I've got a thing for orange as well.
Have you?
Being married to a Dutch lady, I think that's what it is.
Yeah. I always thought the Rabbit Bank kit, and that's like a tequila sunrise paint job, isn't it? That. Go on, ring it.
Come on.
Right. Now, if you want your bike to, get a super nice, maybe you do, maybe you don't with that bell ringing technique, you know what to do. Submit your pictures down there using the uploader tool. So there we are, nearly the time for the end of the show. But don't worry, we've got loads of great videos coming up in the next week, including on Saturday, I get to check out the bike of Pete Sagan, that aluminium bike. So keep a close eye on that. It's an absolute beauty. Check out the paintwork. And then on Sunday, there's a feature that I'm genuinely jealous about because I would have loved to have gone and seen his workshop. You've got Rob Hales teaching us how to make bike parts. Well, teaching us. You're watching Rob Hales build bike parts in his shed. Yeah, or his workshop. Basically, a guy who's been there, done that. He's got the world champ stripes. He is a master at work. I'm so excited about going to see him because, well, he's made little bits and pieces for the best in the world.
Yeah, and he's done it for years now as well.
Yeah. So you know what to do. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Click that little bell notification too, so you get a little alert that goes ding ding. Yeah, or something like that on your phone, so you can check out the latest videos that we're doing. And also, why not check out the GCN shop? We've got a sale on at the moment.
We have up to 50% off on certain things.
Well, there's going to be some bargains on there. And well, now for another great video, how about clicking your pro setup tips?
Yeah.
Just over here on Chris. Don't miss it.
That was good fun doing that. Yeah. Silicone spray everywhere.
Oh.